Now hang on. Before the video starts, over 80% of people who watch our videos are not subscribed. So, if you enjoy our content, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Go on, do it now.
Okay, so now we have the gun here. We're going to imagine that it's loaded and it is now ready to shoot. How does one aim? Well, this is something that happens as a person drills and drills and drills it. You start off looking down the spear and you start off with these little systems and that. It doesn't take too long that soon you just look at the fish and point and shoot. And at that point it starts getting quite exciting for you. But probably to start with, to give you a little bit of a heads up on a bit of direction, if you put the tip, you look at the end here, and you put that onto your target, and then you bring up, keeping it on the target, you bring the back of the gun up until you virtually can't see the gun anymore. Well, that'll give you a pretty good line onto the fish. Once again, it's trial and error. Okay, now here's a tip. If you actually shoot, one moment you shoot with an elbow, it's bent like that. Next thing you see another fish, now you shoot it with there. Next one you have, and you're shooting your arm straight. Next one you've got it like this. So what you've got here is you've got no consistency. Now there are very few spearfishers who can do this. I've seen some of them and they are brilliant. They can turn around and shoot off the hip, they can shoot with bent elbows or whatever. I'm not one of them, but the system that you want to develop pretty quickly, it's a bit like, when you put a rifle onto here, you like a rifle here, it's the same every time. There's the same distance from there to there, same distance from your eye to the scope or the sights or whatever. It's a bit like that, except we're holding it out here. We want to lock our arm out. Okay, so it's locked out in the same position you're going to use every time. Don't get used to it. Look, I learnt the hard way. I went, why am I missing fish today? I'm shooting right over the top of kingfish. This is back some years ago. Why am I missing fish today, And I thought, I better have a look what I'm doing. And all I was doing was was bending my elbow. And it put the spear in a totally different place than how I was normally shooting. So I just locked my arm out again, and the next thing I was shooting fish again. So it's not unusual for people to use two hands, but notice this, if you're using two hands, this arm is in the same position and this one supports, okay? And then you can develop that good habits of consistency, all right? What gets accurate is what's done consistent. Anyone will do something enough, can get consistent and can get accurate. This is important to know. You just don't get too concerned about your misses and that. We all do that. Now here's another tip. Get close. The important thing about this is that when the spear leaves the gun, it's going at a hell of a rate. But before it even gets to the end of the mono, it's slowed down considerably. It's a big item, it's got a lot of surface area, and it's going through a heavy medium, which is water. So it actually will slow down pretty quick. Now it doesn't drop, but it slows. In the very first part of the shot, there's almost nothing can move it out of the way or in the water because it's under so much power. However, in the second part of that trajectory, it's quite possible for an upper current, a little bit of movement in the water, or a fish ahead in the school to wave its tail to actually bring some pressure onto the shaft, enough to knock it off. So the smart idea is get close. If you're in blue water and you think you're close and the water's crystal clear, get closer again and then take your shot. In fact, an old friend of mine who was my mentor down in Sydney, he had a saying, and every coral sea trip we went out on, he says, if you think you're close, get closer. Now if you think you're close, he says, get closer still, you're not close. And this drilled in our heads, and we still managed to shoot fish and have spears draw up short. Why? The water was so clear and the fish were so big, and we just made mistakes, dumb mistakes. But yeah, still, in clear water, get close. In dirty water, get close. Get close is the answer.
Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a video. You can check out more content on our YouTube channel. Visit one of our stores and shop online at www.spearfishing.com.au.